Hey guys, ITAEWON Sammy back in full effect. I'm live. It is my June staycation, so I decided to just make a bunch of videos that I'm going to post later on that are not time sensitive. Today I'm going to talk about advice to 20-somethings. To those of you who are out there who are just starting out in life, what can you do to better your life? You're going to get advice from everyone, your parents, your teachers, your religious leaders, online, your friends. Who do you listen to? Who is the right person? Well, I mean, obviously your parents, but they're biased and they have a vested interest. You know, they have the right information. I wish I had listened to my parents when I was 20. I'm going to say that. But your parents, maybe depending on how they were raised or whatever, may not have the right information. I know for a fact that my parents today don't know the realities of living in today's world because they're retired. They're living a different lifestyle, a different life, a different country. They don't fully comprehend how it is to grow up now because they're not experiencing it. They experience life in a different generation, in a different time. Today's time is much different. So I'm just going to give you my advice. If I was 20, what would I do differently than what I did when I was 20? Now you got to realize or remember, when I was 20, that was 1988. Yeah, that was 30 years ago, okay? Come on, 40 years ago. Jesus. Yeah, 35 years ago, okay? So life was much different. It was much easier to get a job, to get a career, get money, save money. But today, what can you do? Well, why am I going to be able to give you information? Because I'm not 20 and I grew up in a different time. I'm 52. Well, I am living, quote unquote, like a 20-year-old. Okay? I came to Korea with basically nothing. And I started over. I started my life over again. But I started with knowledge of what not to do. Okay? So first thing is, get a credit card, but don't use it. Don't use it the way most people use it, which is, oh, I'll pay it next month. Oh, I'll pay the minimum amount. I have lived without a credit card for close to 15 years. I got one recently just to build my credit rating and earn points and things like that because I'm maximizing, and I'm getting to the reason why. I'll get to the reason later on. Is that if you wanted to buy something, have the cash. Use the credit card and then pay the credit card. Get the points. Get that credit score. But don't use the credit card as a loan. Use it as an emergency. But your daily expenses, like say for example, transit, food, those daily expenses that you always do, use the credit card, and then at the end of the month, use the money that you would have paid. Like pay it right away. That's what I do. I pay it right away. I use my credit card for transit, grocery shopping, etc. My cell phone, my utility bills, all of that goes on the credit card, and the money that I would have paid goes directly to the credit card, like that I would have, the cash that I would have used. So it's already budgeted, okay? So I'm not loaning that money out per se, and I'm earning points, and what I'm earning is I'm using air miles because I travel. So, and I also, as a benefit in one of my companies, they're buying me air miles every year. So those air miles I use up quite well. The way my air miles work is that they give a discount, right? I can use cash and air miles together to buy a plane ticket. So I get discounted on my airplane tickets, which again, saving money just for doing nothing. Secondly, don't buy brand names. I bought an air conditioner. No, not an air conditioner. I bought two dehumidifiers for my apartment. I bought a fridge and a washing machine, all used. I'm not talking about Craigslist or resale from someone, from a company. Now, that is a little bit more expensive than the resale market, but it's a heck of a lot cheaper than brand new. Why? Because it is reconditioned, cleaned, and it has a warranty. Now, the warranty is only 3 months, but it's better than nothing. And I saved like 40%. Okay? I don't even remember how much I paid, but I did a lot of research on it. Don't buy new, buy used. Don't buy a new car. Use public transit. Clothing. Oh my God. People spend so much on brand names. I'll never understand why. Shoes, jackets, outerwear, absolutely. Quality. It'll last you forever. Boots, shoes, jackets. Buy quality. It'll last you forever. I have a down jacket that is 13 years old that I brought with me from Canada. It's still good. It's not fashionable today because it's only waist length. Today is the full length, and I have a full length one that I bought. Buy things like high ticket items off season. If you need an air conditioner, buy it in the winter. If you need winter jackets, buy them in the summer. You got to figure out where to get them though, okay? Every penny you save can go into your retirement, okay? If you live frugally when you're 20, I guarantee you I can teach you how to retire by 35. You never have to work again. Because rich people don't get rich by spending their money or saving their money. They get rich by getting their money to make money. I'm not talking stock market. I'm talking guaranteed investments. So for example, dividend stocks, GICs, which are government bonds, guaranteed investments. Not money markets, not mutual funds, not anything like that. Because one bad turn, you lose it all. Now, the stock market does go like this over decades. It always goes up. But when it falls, and it falls at your retirement date, you can't work another 10 years waiting for the stock market to come back. Okay? Or if your fund fails. Guaranteed investments, that's the way to go. Buy low, sell high? Of course. But if that was magic, everyone would do it. Come on. Yes, you can buy blue chip stocks, which traditionally go high. Absolutely. But that's long term. That's 30, 40, 50 years from now. Okay, when you're 55, that you can sell those and make money. But you got to pay taxes on that. That's the second thing. You got to figure out how to minimize your taxes. I used to not care about taxes when I was 20 because they're just part of life. But when you get to be my age and you're paying income tax, then sales tax, then capital gains tax, you're paying tax on tax on tax. It just doesn't make sense, and it pisses you off when you get older. When you're young, it doesn't really matter. Work that pension. I am going to get 3 government pensions when I retire. And the beautiful thing is about it is that my Canada and Korea pension will be tied together. The time I worked in Korea will go towards my pension allotment from Canada. So far, I worked 20 years in Canada and I worked 10 years in Korea. So that'll go 30 years into my pension fund that I'll be getting when I'm 65 or 70. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet when I'm going to take it out. But according to the information I have calculated, I don't have it here. I think it's going to be about $500 a month. And living in Sri Lanka, that is a lot. But again, we got to think about inflation. I've talked about this before, okay? I am very lucky that I'm a Sri Lankan citizen because the interest rate in Sri Lanka is 7%. So I put $250,000 US into a bank account there. I'm earning $2,000 a month. A month in interest. Okay? Or, yeah, about 2,000, about 1,800. Okay? But I'm only spending $400 or $500 a month. The rest goes back to offset inflation, so my capital keeps growing. Governments always tell you, save your money and then withdraw from your capital. But what if you save until you're 60 and then you die at 62? Or what if you save until you're 70 and then you live to be 120? Right? You don't know how long you're going to live. Where is this money going to come from? So you got to figure out. And then your health expenditure gets more. Even though you don't pay for housing, because you probably own your house, you're going to travel, you're going to live a little bit differently. But your health costs are going to go up because your health insurance is going to go up because you're old. So I'm going to have another video about talking to your banker and the 10 myths. That video is going to come up next week. So I want you to click the like button, subscribe, and watch that video next week. Talk to your banker about future planning. But the mistakes that I made were I overspent on things that I didn't need. Figure out what your life is like and live within your life. It's really hard to say that to someone who's young. You just want to go out and spend money. I used to be like that. I used to spend the money. The old adage, pay yourself first. Get 10, 20, 30% of your pay, put directly into a locked account that you can't withdraw from. People are saying, different things about how to do it, but you got to research it and you got to stick to it like a diet or an exercise plan. This is your future. And if this pandemic has taught us anything, is we got to plan for the future. The reason I am doing this now and working my butt off for my retirement is because of the pandemic. I was just partying and living life. Those of you who have been following me for the last 2 years know that I had a really great, huge lifestyle. I lived in a gorgeous apartment. I had a great weekend job. I lived life. I traveled all over this side of the world, first class. I had parties. I spent money, but I had no future. And this pandemic has taught me austerity. Cut my costs, cut everything out of my life. I still spend money. I had a $200 meal last week. It was great. It gave me great enjoyment. And that's what you got to do. You got to live life, but you can't let life live you. What does that say? I hope you can read it. It says, learn to live life. Don't let life live you. Okay, it's very important. What does that mean? Life living you is, I got bills to pay, I got this to do, I got responsibilities. That's life living you. Okay, you got to go out and live life. I work because I want to. Okay, I want to live life. I want to enjoy life, so I spend the money that I want on living life. That is my little lesson. Stay tuned next week for specific 10 things you should not do that everyone says you should. Okay? ITAEWON Sammy, living life. I'm out.